Greetings, friends in Colombia. This is Sam Ingrassia here. Nice to talk to you through this technology. Bernardo and I were recently talking, and we realized it might be a good opportunity for me to share some insights and some messages with you in these coming weeks. I trust that you and your family have been well during the coronavirus season. Our family is doing very well here. We have been on lockdown just as you have been. We are getting our economy moving a little bit better now, and I pray in coming days we'll have more mobility, not only here but abroad. E3 Partners, as you know, is an international church planting and mobilization ministry. Our whole ministry has been closed down from travel in these months. And at this time, our leadership is determining what doors may be opening for us with the Lord. So I am praying and anticipating to still have some trips this year, but we're waiting on the details and the doors to open. I want to share a series of insights and messages with you that are prompted by a book that has been meaningful to me. It's called 7 Desires by Mark and Debbie Lazar. These are Christian counselors, and in fact, Mark recently went home to be with the Lord, but his work lives on in many forums, and this book, 7 Desires, is one of their feature presentations. You know, as human beings, we're made in the image of God. This is one of the defining points in the beginning of the Bible as God describes how we're created. Basically, this means we are personal beings. We are human beings. We are like God in many ways. We are not God, but we are like God because we're designed for relationship and we have personality. In the book 7 Desires, I really have enjoyed how they identified ways in which we have emotional needs that God has given to us. God is our creator, and God is the one who fulfills these deep desires of our hearts. Imagine our life as like an iceberg. What you see is above the water, but what you don't see is below the water. And oftentimes our heart is like that. There's a large part of our heart that's below the water. In many ways, our emotions can be like that. We have deep desires that need to be met, and everyone has these desires of heart. It does not matter the age, does not matter the gender, does not matter the culture, does not matter the religion. All human beings made in God's image have desires that are in our hearts. And when these desires are fulfilled and met, we function best. However, when these desires are not met, it can cause trouble in our souls. It strikes me that as we are shepherds and spiritual leaders for people, we really need to have increasing understanding of people. The shepherd knows his sheep. Jesus knows us. He knows the desires of our heart, and he can meet those desires. But we need to increasingly have understanding of these desires in the hearts of people around us. not only in the ministry with people that we shepherd, but certainly in our own families, in our marriages, with our friends. The more insight we have about the desires that are in people's hearts, the better we will be able to understand and meet those desires. And just as we would have them done for us, we can do them for others. Many years ago, I learned the law of emotional needs. And in English, it spells out the word law. And Bernardo may need to edit this section because the acrostic will not make sense. But the key words are: we need to be loved, we need to be accepted, and we need to feel worthwhile. Loved, accepted, and valued or worthwhile. When I learned of the 7 Desires book, it helped me understand even more fully these emotional needs. And so let me just list them for you. And in coming short talks, I'll talk about these different desires of the heart. The first one is the need or the desire to be heard and understood. The second one is the need to be affirmed. The third one is the desire to be blessed. The fourth one is the desire to be safe. The fifth one is the desire to be touched. Now, this is talking about physical touch in a healthy way, of course. As human beings, we need to actually be touched by others in appropriate ways, of course. And from time to time, it creates connection. You know, even when we share the gospel using the Evangicube, many times on that hands panel when Jesus reaches for our hand, you remember? We talk about taking the hand of the person that we're talking to, and that physical touch, that contact that makes a special connection for communication. Human beings have a desire for physical touch. The sixth desire is to be chosen, and the seventh desire is to be included. These 7 desires describe how we can be loved, how we can feel accepted, and how we can have worth or value. God created us with these desires of the heart, and it helps me to be able to use the right words to have more clarity and understanding about my own desires and how I can watch to meet these desires in people around me, whether it's my wife Vicky, or my daughters, or family, or friends, or people in ministry. Everyone has emotional needs, spiritual needs, and physical needs. So let's not overlook these emotional, powerful desires of the heart. The more we understand them, the more engaged and the more connected we will be with people around us. So I invite you to think about these 7 desires. We will go through them 1 or 2 per week in coming weeks. And I'll be sharing some scriptures for each one. But in the meantime, I invite you to think about them and to watch for these in your heart and in the hearts of people around you. Again, the desire to be heard and understood, to be affirmed, to be blessed, to be safe, to be touched, to be chosen, and to be included. Okay, friends, God bless you. We continue to pray for you. We ask your prayers for us here in the United States. It has been a crazy time around the world. It feels very biblical, almost like the book of Revelation, where the whole world is groaning with a pandemic. Truly, God is at work in ways we cannot understand, and also in maybe some ways we can understand. So I ask you and challenge you to be looking for him, drawing close to him as we are seeking to do the same. We love you. God bless you.